Adele walked into that courtroom. It wasn't just about her being a superstar, no. It was about the weight she carried, the truth she was ready to unload. She wasn't there to perform. She wasn't there for press. She was there to expose a secret so tightly guarded in the music industry it had been treated like myth. And the courtroom? You could hear a pin drop. Not even Diddy's top Douglas defense team could mask their unease. They all straightened up like soldiers bracing for impact. Because Adele wasn't supposed to show up. Rumors about her being connected to Diddy had been buzzing for weeks, but no one expected her to actually testify, especially not under oath. But there she was. Calm face, heavy eyes, no frills, just raw truth. She said it outright. I was at one of the VIP room events. I wish I hadn't been. That one sentence cracked through the courtroom like thunder. She didn't sugarcoat it, didn't try to soften the blow. Adele told the story like a woman peeling off a scar. Still tender, still pulsing. It all started 2 years ago in Los Angeles. Fresh off a major award show win, Adele got a mysterious note, hand-delivered via hotel concierge, elegant, discreet. No sender name, but the signature was unmistakable. Diddy. It said, VIP room, no phones, no press, trust. Now, in the celebrity world, VIP after parties are normal. Standard, A-listers mingle with industry titans, producers, collaborators. You show your face, you network. Adele thought this was just that. She was wrong. She arrived at an unmarked upscale building. There were no red carpets, no cameras, just tight, eerie security. Guests slipped through a side entrance like it was a secret society. The elevator ride up, silent. Attendant didn't even speak. When the doors opened, 2 women greeted her. Identical black dresses, robotic smiles, no names. Just one ask, sign the NDA. Adele paused, and in that pause was every woman's silent war. Walk away, and you're difficult. Stay, and you risk losing yourself. She stayed, and what she saw inside... it changed. Everything. The room was dimly lit, smelled of luxury, and reeked of control. Candles flickered, leather furniture gleamed, guests stood around like mannequins, composed but cold, pretending not to see what they all clearly saw. No laughter, no music bumping, just silence and anticipation. Then he walked in. Diddy, no smile, no greeting. His presence. Everyone froze. He walked right up to Adele, kissed her cheek, and whispered, "You finally made it. Not welcome, not thank you for coming. You finally made it," like she was expected, like she belonged to him. At first, their conversation seemed casual, industry talk, but then it shifted. Diddy leaned in, whispered something chillingly specific, something so unsettling Adele couldn't even repeat it in court. It wasn't flirtation, she said, it was control. When she tried to leave, he moved, not with hands, but with presence. His body blocked her path. No yelling, no grabbing, just a quiet message. You're not going anywhere until I say so. And in that moment, Adele, felt something she rarely did. Fear. Not because she's weak, but because the power in that room was calculated, manipulated. She was surrounded by handlers, eyes pretending not to watch, and rules no one had said out loud, but everyone was obeying. She didn't scream. She didn't run. She smiled politely, lied, and waited. The right moment came. She walked out, heart pounding, but Diddy's eyes followed her all the way to the elevator. That silent stare, it haunted her for years. That night, she didn't tell anyone. Not even her team. She buried it, but some wounds refused to stay buried. Now, in that courtroom, Adele was reclaiming something that had been ripped from her. Her safety, her trust, her voice. And that was just the beginning. She told the court everything. Every detail burned into her memory. The women in the room weren't guests. They were props. Identical dresses, identical shoes. They didn't talk. People didn't look at each other. They only moved when summoned by Diddy or his people. It felt like a showroom, she said. Like people were being presented or selected. The room? Curated. Designed to isolate. The lights, the music, the temperature, all perfectly balanced to keep you aware of him. And Diddy, he wasn't a host, he was a director, a puppeteer. He moved through the crowd like royalty, a nod here, the whisper there. Every gesture caused a ripple. One woman dared to move without permission. She got up to walk somewhere, maybe the bar. Diddy raised one eyebrow. 2 men flanked her, whispered. She sat back down and never moved again. That was the level of power he held. Adele described another moment. Diddy came back to her, asked about her music, her team. Then he said the line that never left her. With me, there are no boxes. I open doors people don't even know exist. At the time, it sounded like power. Now, she knows better. That room wasn't about status, she said. It was about submission. You either became part of the machine or got spit out. And the consequences of choosing to leave, oh, they came, swiftly. Quietly. The next day, Adele's phone went Eerily silent. No follow-ups. No great seeing you. Meetings got canceled. A brand deal stalled. A producer ghosted her. The message was clear. You stepped out of line. Now disappear. She convinced herself she was imagining it, that it wasn't about the party. But deep down, she knew. Silence doesn't just happen in this business, she said. It's managed. She came forward not for fame, not for press, but because that night and the silence that followed was eating her alive. And there were others, women in that room who didn't blink unless told, who didn't move unless instructed. That kind of obedience, it's not fear from one night. It's fear that's been trained. She couldn't be part of the silence anymore. She saw women that night she'd worked with. One was a pop star she toured with. Another, a young actress she'd mentored. They weren't partying, they were surviving. It wasn't drugs, Adele said. It wasn't alcohol, it was control. She even saw one woman taken down a hallway by handlers. She didn't come back for over an hour. When she did, she was walking differently. Not drunk, just hollow, and that was the final straw. In the car that night, Adele cried, not because of what happened to her, but because of what she now knew. She wasn't supposed to see it, but she did. After that night, Adele tried to go back to normal. She buried herself in work, in her son, in anything that could help her forget. But the silence wasn't just in her inbox. It was inside her, creeping, growing, and then came the message. It didn't come from Diddy directly. Of course not. It came through a mutual contact. Just one line, "You're not built for this room, watch yourself." Adele froze. It wasn't loud, it wasn't aggressive, but it shook her because it wasn't a threat you could report. It was a whisper that sounded like a warning, and one she took seriously. She started noticing things. Calls that used to get answered, now ignored. A project she was finalizing vanished. And not with fanfare, with shrugs. Oh, we're restructuring. Oh, maybe next quarter. Nothing concrete, just doors quietly closing. The machine doesn't destroy you, Adele said. It just lets you fade. One night, at a swanky charity gala, she saw Diddy again. He didn't speak to her, didn't even look her way. But one of his people approached, bent down and said, "Let's not have any more misunderstandings." Is that line? Ice in her veins. It was so casual, so normal, like they were talking about RSVPs, not intimidation. That's when I realized, she said, he doesn't need to yell. He doesn't need to hit. He just needs the room. And he used that room like a weapon. Over time, more stories came to Adele. Whispers from other women. A pop singer who vanished after attending a similar event. A rising R&B artist who spiraled into silence. A young talent who reached out crying, saying, "They saw me leave early. I broke the rules." That's when Adele understood. These weren't random parties. These were tests. They build these rooms not to entertain, she said. They build them to study you, to see who they can use, who they can own. And it was always the same formula. Invite, NDA, silence. Adele admitted something painful. She regretted signing that NDA, not because she feared legal trouble, but because it tricked her into thinking she had control. That signing it meant she was a part of something, not a prisoner of it. But now she knew. NDAs don't protect us, she told the judge. They protect them. And then she did the unthinkable. She said, clearly on record, "I know I'm violating that NDA right now, and I don't care. I'd rather lose everything with my name than protect someone who built a legacy on fear." The room shattered. You could hear the reporters scribbling like mad, the jurors stunned. Even Diddy's own team looked shaken. And then Adele went even further. She exposed the system. She explained how, after that night, a young singer reached out. 21, pale shaking, she'd attended a Diddy VIP night. Same setup, same silence, same pressure, but she hadn't escaped early. She blacked out. When she woke up, her dress was backward, her phone was gone. A suited man told her nothing happened, you're free to leave. That girl disappeared from music 6 months later. No explanation. That's when I knew, Adele said, this wasn't intimidation. This was systemic. She spoke of emails now entered into evidence, communications from handlers, assistants, planners, people who choreographed these nights down to the minute. These weren't parties, they were productions, and Adele had been cast without consent. Then came the moment the courtroom stopped breathing. She looked up, took a breath, and said the words, "He touched me." It wasn't violent, it wasn't loud, but it was intentional. Diddy walked her to what she thought was the exit. It was another private room, plush, dim. 2 guards at the